It's Monday, June 27th, 2022, and this is episode 260 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Mike, okay, a new era starting here, a new opening. How was your trip?
Trip was good. So the first night, we left early Saturday morning, but Friday night we spent at Harrah's, Southern California.
Of course you did.
Yeah, of course. When we got in the room, the light was unplugged. I am not kidding, Mark. The light was unplugged. So it must be a Caesars Properties thing.
And were you able to figure it out, though?
We were able to figure it out,
okay,
yes.
Good.
It was just unplugged.
Yeah.
We ate dinner at the cafe, and it was pretty good. Then I went downstairs and played the little craps just before bed. And
now but let me cut you off there because earlier in the day, you dropped off your dogs at our house.
Yes.
We watched your dogs overnight.
Right.
And you said, when we go up to the casino, I'm playing my free play and then I'm going to bed. I'm not playing at all. You made a big deal, but we rolled our eyes. And so I guess we were right, huh?
Well, as I was walking to play my free play, there was a completely empty craps table there.
Okay.
What could I do? I felt bad for the dealers.
Exactly.
So, anyway, it worked out okay because, I won just a little bit, but it was fun. It wasn't very long, I'll tell you that. I played for maybe an hour at the most.
Okay.
The other interesting thing at Harrah's is the next morning we got up and the girls, we all took showers before we hit the road and they were power washed. My daughter said, well, we got a good power washing. The pressure in that room was so hard.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, it actually hurt a little bit. And you had to really monitor where you stood so you didn't, get bruised or anything.
Right.
And they said, we've been power washed. So my suggestion is always, power wash the family before you go on a trip.
Oh, so it worked out okay.
Yeah, that's just common sense.
Good.
Right?
Good.
So then we left Saturday morning and headed to Flagstaff, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really exciting on the way, except we stopped in Surprise, Arizona at a Whataburger, or a bathroom stop, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Best smelling bathrooms in the world, Mark.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They pump the smoke or the grease or whatever from the grill right into the bathroom.
Okay, so it's like a burger experience in the bathroom.
In the bathroom. My brother and I both, it smelled just like burgers.
That's great. Oh, what a good story.
That was the surprising part about the trip to Flagstaff. It was nice. The hotel was nice that we stayed at. It did have a lamp that was unplugged on the desk.
Good.
Again, we continue with that.
All right.
When we investigated, there was no plug to plug it in.
Oh.
The plug was behind a TV stand thing that was really heavy.
Yeah.
So I guess there was no reason to plug that in, so we didn't use that light.
Okay.
And then when we were checking in, we saw a naked man's butt.
Oh, good.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
That's all.
Yeah, that's it. We just saw his butt. Then the next morning we left and we went to Durango, Colorado.
Oh,
And we had a couple dust storms and a thunderstorm that we went through.
Okay.
We also stopped on the way to Durango at Four Corners.
I've always wanted to go there, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Mark. It's something, it's not really worth it. It was weird. I mean, the area where the four states meet was pretty nice, but the surrounding area was really bad. I mean, there was just porta potties and the parking was in some dirt lot that had craters in it. I mean, it was terrible to drive through.
I see what you're saying. Okay, so the surrounding area is kind of run down and...
Right, kind of run down and beat up.
Yeah.
Where you get your picture taken on the Four Corners was nice, but that was about it. So I don't know. I mean, I'm glad we stopped, but
there you go.
I don't know if it's a must-see.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next day we went to Avon, Colorado. And as it turns out, our good friend Melanie lives just about 5 miles from our hotel.
Oh, nice.
So we contacted Melanie and we had dinner with her. And I said, Melanie, just pick a place that's, close to where you are and, we'll meet you there. So she suggested a Mexican food restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And we drove there and we found some parking and we walked down and there was Melanie standing in the front. And I said, now, where do you live from here? Right across the street. Literally across the street.
Nice.
In a cute little house backed up against a mountain. So, yeah, it was nice. We had a good meal with her and her family, and we had a good time. Yeah, she lives like right up against this mountain. And I think I sent you a couple pictures of a moose that's on the hill there right behind her house.
I saw the picture of just you and Melanie. I think that's the only
okay.
thing you sent me, yeah.
Oh, I'll send you. I got a picture of the moose that lives behind her house.
Okay.
And then also a big rock that's at the top of that mountain, I guess, just split one night in two and rolled down the hill and landed on the train tracks and just destroyed the train tracks.
Wow.
So, I'll send you those pictures. But we had a good visit with Melanie. We talked all about Colorado casinos and everything. We didn't stop at any casinos in Colorado, but when we headed towards Denver from Avon, there's a lot. There were a lot of casinos up there. That next morning, we left and went to Cheyenne, Wyoming. Mm-hmm. It was a nice little town, but went to eat at the Texas Roadhouse. Mm-hmm. And we had a little incident where my brother managed to be barred from Texas Roadhouse restaurants for life.
Oh, gosh. What happened?
Well, he sat down and he had the gall to ask for a salad with extra dressing, and he wanted it tossed.
Okay.
Well, the waiter was kind of new and second day on the job or something. And he said, sure, no problem. So it took a while, and they brought out bread and drinks and sitting there. Finally, the manager comes out and hands Christopher the salad, which had been tossed, and took his finger and pointed it right in his face and shaking his finger like you would scold a little kid. He said, this is the last time we're doing this. Don't ever ask for this again. We don't do this. It's against our rules. And then he slammed the salad down on the table and said to Christopher, is that going to be credit or cash? And put the check down.
So I don't understand. Just because it was a tossed salad?
Yeah, because he wanted the salad tossed. He wanted the dressing put on the salad and then tossed in, because sometimes it's so hard to get the dressing mixed in with the salad and stuff.
Sure.
So he asked for it tossed. And the manager said, this is cross-contamination. We don't do this. And Christopher's looked at him and said, well, should I eat it then? And the guy didn't take that too well either.
Well, that's a strange story, Dr. Mike.
It's very strange. So we joked the whole time, well, we've been barred from Texas Roadhouse in the state of Wyoming. Yeah. Also, while we were there, right when we got there, there was a 5-alarm fire at an auto dealership down the street from our hotel. Everyone in the town was upset about that, talking about it. Yeah, it turns down this auto dealership burned down. It was quite a fire. You could smell it. And, I should mention that the hotel there had a pancake maker.
Oh, in the room?
No, in the breakfast area. They served breakfast.
Yeah.
They had a pancake maker.
Okay, as opposed to a waffle
at the hotel
maker.
Well, they had a waffle maker too, but they had a pancake maker.
Gotcha.
And it was a machine that you just press the button, it poured batter, and it went through this whole process. And the kids who were staying at the hotel were fascinated by it.
Okay, good. Kind of like Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, we left Cheyenne and we headed towards Rapid City, South Dakota. Mm-hmm. We saw the Oregon trails there, Mark, in the fields next to the road. Yeah. Where the ruts are still there from all the people who traveled to Oregon. That was kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
They're so deep, they're still there. We saw a couple of brown bears. We saw lots of antelope. We saw porcupine, and we went to Crazy Horse on the way there. Crazy Horse was great.
Yeah.
That is a must go to. They show a little film about how they decided to do it. Yeah. All about it is very, very super interesting. And the facility was excellent. I mean, really, really nice. I found it more exciting than Mount Rushmore, which is what we went to next.
Right.
Oh, and they're dog friendly here. For everyone listening at Crazy Horse, you can bring your dogs right in.
Oh, that is
even
nice.
Into the movie.
Oh,
they just
great.
sat on the ground next to us in the movie.
Oh, very
and
good.
It's a nice theater and stuff, but they're very dog friendly. Mount Rushmore was not so dog friendly. They don't let dogs in there.
Okay.
When we got to Rapid City, the waitress said, "Oh, you should eat at this Tally's Silver Spoon."
Okay.
In downtown Rapid City. Okay, well, we'll take her advice. We went down there. We could not get in. There was a huge line.
Yeah.
And it was like a 2-hour wait. But we wanted to eat there because the very first thing on the menu is Grandpa Dick Burger.
Okay.
not Grandpa's Dick Burger.
Well, I should hope not. Grandpa
Burger.
Dick Burger. Good. All right.
Anyway, we weren't able to get in, so we have no idea how that was. But we ended up eating at another Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, geez.
We kept our mouths shut and didn't order anything weird.
Good. The eye in the sky didn't catch Christopher coming in?
No. He was afraid they'd have texted his picture around to all the Texas Roadhouses, but we got away with it. Anyway, then we left Rapid City the next morning and we headed towards Caledonia, Minnesota.
All right. Your final destination.
Our final destination, yeah. And on the way there, we stopped at Wall Drug.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got to stop at Wall Drug.
Yeah.
That is a must-see, too. I mean, if you're anywhere in the area, you got to go to Wall Drug.
They've got ice water.
Yeah, you get free ice water there. It was good. We ate there and shopped around in all the stores. I bought a lot of taffy.
Oh boy.
they had fresh made taffy. So I'm set up for taffy for at least a week.
Oh, fantastic. Well, if your dentist tells you anything, it's eat more taffy.
Yeah. It was funny too, because when we pulled up at Wall Drug, right across the street from Wall Drug, a restaurant had burned down the night before.
Come on.
Yeah, I am not kidding. Second burned down. I mean, it was still, you could really smell the fire.
Boy, you really blazed a trail across the country,
Yeah.
Dr. Mike.
I know. I was afraid when we got here something was going to happen. I'm like, everything's burning down. We could still smell the fire.
Yeah.
And then, of course, after that, we had to drive another, hour and get to the Corn Palace. Have you seen that?
No.
That's something to see, too.
Yep.
It's this big, huge building, got corn murals made completely out of corn all the way around the building.
I think
cool.
my in-laws honeymooned there. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it was fun. It was a great place. And they had a big arena, which was the actual basketball court for the local high school. That turns into a gift shop in the summer when there's no basketball. Yeah, I recommend that place too. It was pretty interesting. There was a fairly large casino on the border of South Dakota and Minnesota. We didn't stop, but...
Do you remember the name?
Cadillac Jack. Yeah, it's in Deadwood.
Oh, right. Sure. Of course. Uh-huh.
I texted you. They had some weird hours.
Yes, right.
Like the weekends, I think Friday and Saturday and maybe Sunday were 24/7, but the rest of the week it was like 8 a.m. to midnight or 1 a.m.
Yeah,
tables were only open in the afternoon.
We're so used to 24-hour casinos, that when we come across one that closes, it's strange.
Yeah, the casino opened at 8, but there was only slots until noon or something,
yeah.
and then they had some table games.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. That was our trip. It was actually very fun.
All right. Very good. And you're all settled. It sounds like you settled in pretty quick. You were texting me that you already have the MLB package and you're able to watch the Padres and everything.
My wife, best wife in the world.
Fantastic.
Had everything ready. We got here. We had the MLB package. I didn't miss one Padre game.
Nice.
Since we got here. And we had all the, Hulu and Netflix and
everything's
everything.
Up. So, you got the internet. Well, obviously you have the internet because we're talking right now.
On it right now. Everything is all set up, Mark. It's like we didn't move.
All right. So you are officially a Minnesotan now. And I was texting on Twitter about this. Are you now a Minnesota Twins fan?
Well, I have watched the Twin games. The nice thing about it is the Twins, when they're playing here, they're on before the Padres.
Right.
So I get to watch both games.
Okay. So are you going to go to any Twins? Are you going to support the team? Your local?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to support them. I don't know if I'm going to go to any games. They're up, in the Twin Cities, like 2.5 hour drive.
All right. And are you still going to be a Padre fan?
Well, of course, Mark.
Of course.
I know that I got some grief on Twitter about that, but I'm always going to be a Padres fan.
Let me ask you this. If the Twins were playing the Padres, who would you root for?
The Padres.
Oh, see, that's
wrong. And they are playing them.
That's wrong. That's wrong, Dr. Mike. You have forsaken.
They're playing them in 2 weeks.
You have forsaken this city, okay? I don't mind that you're a Padre fan, but when it comes to supporting the local team or, where you were from, you support the local team, my friend.
Okay, how about this if I'm neutral?
No.
Can I be neutral?
No. You got to root for the Twins, my friend.
Oh, gosh.
That's just the
rule. They play the Padres next week.
Is it really?
After.
I didn't even realize they play each other this year. So
they have a 3 game. Yeah, they have Minnesota is playing Colorado right now.
Okay,
so
I'll tell you what. So when the Padres beat the Twins, I'm going to really give it to you. I'm going to go on Twitter and say, "Take that, Dr. Mike." Stupid Twins fan. Ha ha ha. Be
I don't know if
sending you
you
a
saw the
picture
game
with
last night, but I don't know if the Padres are going to beat the Twins.
It was a rough one last night. Hey, we're still hanging in there. It's a good game. All right, Mike. Well, that's your trip. Very good. Congratulations on a safe trip.
Thanks.
Let's jump into our podcast. Let's talk about gambling.
All right. Very good.
Since our last episode, Ed O'Connor, who puts on the 33 pool that we're a part of every season, finally went to the Borgata to play our hardway bets. Now, for those unfamiliar, we're part of this 33 pool during the NFL season where if your team scores exactly 33 points and wins the game, you win whatever's currently in the pot. And if no team scores 33 points during a week, it carries over. So at the end of the season, there's some extra money left over from our entry fee. Ed actually includes that as part of the entry fee above and beyond actually paying for all 18 weeks of the NFL season. As it turns out, somebody did win that final week of the NFL season, so there wasn't any carryover from the main part of the pool, but there was still a fair amount of money left over. And the idea is that with that money, Ed takes some friends and they go to the Borgata in Atlantic City and they make some hardway bets. They went recently and they had some pretty good luck. In fact, they hit 2 hard 10s and a hard 4. What they do is they start betting like the hard 10 and then see how that goes. And then maybe on the next shooter, they do the hard 4, the next shooter hard 6, next shooter hard 8, that kind of thing. And they also did some slot play. But as it turns out, they won a ton of money on hitting 2 hard 10s on the same shooter and a hard 4 on a shooter that more than pays for what our entry fee was for the whole pool last year. So everybody in the pool, even us lowly Dr. Mike and Mark, who have never actually won the pool on any NFL week, we actually won some money. So
yes, thanks to Ed and his friends for their good betting.
And what he's done is he's taken the amount of money that we're getting back, and that's just going to go into this year's pool. So we don't have to give him any additional money. Everything's covered, and people are going to win a little bit more this year per week for hitting 33. And then again, there's going to be a carryover and maybe some left over at the end of the year, plus the extra that we put in, and there's going to be some more hardways next year. So Ed, thanks for putting that together.
That's great for the people who won money in the pool,
yes,
and then got their entry fee back afterwards.
Yep.
Can't beat that. We should keep this a secret. Enter a pool that guarantees you don't lose money.
Yep, it's great. And of course, they tip the dealers too at Borgata. It sounded like it was just a great experience for the hardway rolls. So, all right. Well, the night before Father's Day, my kids were asking me, well, what do I want to do on Father's Day? And I was thinking, I don't know. Gosh, we haven't been to the zoo for a while. Do I want to see a movie? Do I want to just relax? And then they said, well, how about the casino? And it's like, yeah, because it didn't occur to me because our younger son is only 18. But then we remembered, hey, Barona is 18 or older. Right. So I'm thinking, that's fantastic. Let's do that tomorrow. So we were talking the night before about, well, what should we play when we're there? And, we haven't had good luck with craps there. But I shouldn't say good luck. We haven't had a good experience playing craps there, you and I.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm thinking, well, I don't really want to do that. And I don't want to play blackjack because, when you're at a table with people and they feel like you're playing wrong and taking their cards and what have you, I thought, how about 3-card poker? Right?
Oh,
it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. It's kind of fun.
It's a fun game.
Yeah, we got out the felt and put it on the kitchen table, and I taught them all how to play 3-card poker. And our younger son, too, went online and overnight played the online version, for free play, just to kind of get used to it. And so sure enough, the next day we went to Barona. It's non-smoking, too, at Barona. It's a completely non-smoking casino now. Yeah, so we really like that. So we got there, the 3-card poker table was full. So we went and played some video poker first. And, I always recommend Barona to people who come to San Diego because of the good rules that they have. And sure enough, they've got 9-6 jacks or better quarter machines, right? So that's what we played, while we were waiting for some spots to open up at 3-card poker. And then eventually we had enough seats for at least 3 of us. Sherry just watched David and Charlie and I play. And we played some $10 3-card poker.
Nice.
Now, we didn't make any side bets. I was telling him, hey, guys, you're probably going to get some side bet shaming from other players or even the dealers right? You know, they
Right,
said, oh,
right.
if you'd had your money, just be prepared for that. We're not going to make the side bets. And there were some people playing at the table who were only making the side bets. You know, you don't have to play the actual 3-card poker game. You can just, you know, bet the side bets.
You can just make
you
a
still
side
get a
bet.
hand, you know, stuff like that. So anyway, we played for a while, and a new dealer came to the table, Juan, and he was great. We were talking to him. He said, oh, you're here for Father's Day, brought your kids and everything. Yeah. We ended up winning between the three of us. You know, one of us lost a little, the other two won, but we came out of it with a profit. And so we're cashing in, and there's a woman at the table, and she's seeing it. Oh, you won? Only playing the regular game? Because she was doing, you know, the regular game and side bets and everything. And Juan, the dealer, turned to her and said, well, the thing about side bets is, yeah, they're fun, but in the long run, you're going to lose a lot more money playing them than just playing the regular game. And I said, Juan, you're my hero. I could have kissed him. He's saying it in front of my kids. When have you ever heard a dealer say that? I'm thinking, I wonder if they're going to fire him.
Right. Juan, you go back. Juan doesn't work here anymore. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, that was such
good advice.
Such a great way to leave the table. It's like, you know, don't make the side bet. So, you know, we got the opposite.
Did Charles win?
You know what I think it was David and I both won and Charles lost. We all played it fine. You know, I mean, you get hands, right?
Right.
And it was so great because the very last hand I said, you know, next time we have a win, we'll go. The dealer had a pair of jacks. It's like, oh, come on. I had a pair of aces. Charles lost. And then I'm waiting to see David's hand and thinking, well, you know, we're going to lose overall. He had a flush. So we ended up, you know, two of us beat the dealer's jack. And that's when we said, okay, let's cash out. And we left over that. So.
I was just hoping Charles would win because his first time, you know.
Yeah, I was hoping he wouldn't win because his first time. Okay.
I know you weren't.
But we all had a good time. So I thank them for taking me there for Father's Day.
Nice.
And then one more quick. It's so funny here. You leave town and suddenly I'm going to all these different casinos. On Tuesday night, which is our poker home game, we did not have enough players. There were only 4 of us, and we won't play if there's only 4. You know, it just doesn't make for a good game. So we decided to go all meet out at Sequan, another casino here close by, and play some poker there. You know, going back to Barona, I do recommend Barona to people, but they don't have a poker room anymore. They don't have bingo. Sequan has bingo and a poker room, so, you know, decide what you're going to do.
Barona used to be big on poker, too.
I know,
and bingo back in the day. They had a big bingo room.
So we ended up playing poker at Sequan, and when I got there, a couple guys were already there, and they had a 4-8 Omaha high-low going. It's like, okay, that's my game. I'm going to, you know, I'll buy in. Oh, Mike. Talk about night and day playing at the World Series of Poker versus this crew. Oh, my gosh. Almost everybody called pre-flop. There was one guy who would kill the game whenever he had the opportunity to. So 4-8, those are the limits in a game. And if you scoop a pot in Omaha, and I think it has to be at least $60 or something, you have to kill the next game, which means the limits go up to 8-16 for the next game. And the person who's killing it has to put out an $8 blind. Well, at this game, you could voluntarily kill it if you won any part of the pot. And so this guy, I mean, he always killed it and was always pre-flop raising, just action, action, action. So it was fantastic. I think they were a little frustrated with my very tight play, and the game eventually broke up after an hour or so. But, you know, had just a blast playing there, the 4 of us, and then, you know, a couple.
Did you clean up?
No, I didn't clean up. You know, I won like $14, right? You know, it was just 4-8, right? And I'm folding so much that, plus, oh my gosh, the rake. You know, they take $4 for the casino and $2 for the jackpot, which is $6 a pot. Oh my gosh, that's way too much, you know.
They're hauling it in pretty quick.
Oh yeah. So, and especially if there were, towards the end, all 4 of us were like on the same table. It's like, well, we're all going to lose tonight, right? All the money's going to go to the casino. So even though I had a lot of fun and I'll probably go back, yeah, the rake is just, it's insane. It's crazy.
Well, gosh, $4 goes to the casino.
Yeah.
$4. How many hands in an hour?
Yeah, right. And you know, the thing is, I mean, you're playing 4-8. Right? So that's a big blind that they're taking out just for the casino, and then $2 for jackpot. Now, I realize jackpot goes back to the players, but, you know, I don't go for the jackpot.
The casino's making a killing on that.
Right. And, of course, I'm tipping. You know, I just $1, but every time I won, everybody tipped, right, when they won. So, yeah, it's hard to kind of beat that. But I had fun. It's funny that when the game broke up, they said, well, you're going to go play craps now? And I said, well, I won $14 playing poker, grinded away to win $14.
Right.
I don't want to go to the craps table now, even if I could
lose 1,000.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, I walked around and checked everything out, but then that was it. So those are my 2 casino adventures since you've been gone.
Oh, good. Well, you went to the casino twice in a week.
Yeah, so there's going to be plenty of gambling in our lives still. I know you're going to play at some casinos out.
Well, I already got a call from Mike James.
Oh, yeah.
And said, that between where he lives in Milwaukee and here, for both of us, it's like an hour and 40-minute drive to the Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah.
So he said, you want to meet up there? And I said, yeah, sure. But give me a couple weeks.
You're right.
To kind of get settled in. Every day we've got so many things to do, like, go to the bank, go to this, go to that.
Right.
So once I get that stuff done and I have some free time, Lynn and I will probably head down there for a day.
Oh, good. Yeah. Ho Chunk Casino. I've actually been there.
Ho Chunk.
Yeah, a long time ago. But
that's where we're going to go. And then there's all the ones in Iowa too. He said, you can go to Iowa if you want to. It's kind of the same distance for him to go down there as it would be for me too.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Oh, good. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, we got a bunch of voicemails. Let's see how many we can get through on this episode. Let's start off with Dylan.
Hi, Mark. Dr. Mike, how's it going? My name's Dylan, first-time caller. Kind of a long-time listener. I actually vowed to listen to all of your episodes before I called in. So I am happy to say that I made it. I started last June, so it took me less than a year to get through all of your episodes. But they are great. Thanks for everything you do. The podcast is great. I love playing craps. Started when I was 21 for my birthday. We actually went to Vegas, and I played craps there for the first time and fell in love right away. It was actually funny. We were down at the Four Queens, and I did not know how to play the game, and there was a pit boss there. Somebody rolled a 5, and he said, the field comes alive after 5, and I had no idea what I was doing at the time, and so, of course, I took his word for it and put money on the field, and sure enough, I hit. Then after the next 5, I threw a little bit more on there, and it hit again, and I thought, man, that guy knows what he's talking about. It actually wasn't until the next time that I played craps that I realized how bad the field bet actually was, and actually sat down to start to learn the game. Just a quick trip update. I'm actually on a work trip in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, so I went down to the Riverside Casino and Resort. They had one craps table. They actually got rid of their virtual craps table, which I thought was interesting. So they just had one craps table working, and it was $5 minimum, 10 times odds. So I thought that was pretty good. Nice for a smaller player like me. The craps was very cold. It was immediate 7 out after immediate 7 out. So I did not do very well there. Had a decent run, some $5 blackjack. And then I actually had a really bad beat. I sat down at an Ultimate Texas Hold'em table, was playing everything, including their little side bet with the running progressive, where you can get the maxi if you get the royal flush. I played and I played and I played. I hadn't hit anything on that side bet. Somebody came and sat down to my right where they would get dealt the cards first. And a couple of hands later, he was playing the side bet and was dealt quad 4s and hit the mini for $1,300. So I thought that was pretty rough. But hope to call in again. Thanks for everything you do, and look forward to continuing to listen to your podcast. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call that a bad beat because, anything could have happened, right? Between when the player sat down and, he got the cards, the shuffle could have been different. I don't know how they're dealing it there. Maybe those aren't the cards you wouldn't have gotten, or the dealer's cards would have been different. Who knows? But yeah, don't beat yourself up over something like that.
Yeah, and it also could have helped you, right?
Right, yeah, something like that could have helped you.
Better hand because
right. So, hey, Mike, Riverside Casino, I was seeing here about 3 hours from where you are.
Yeah, that's Iowa, down in Iowa a little ways.
Yep. So just start making a list of all these places because you're going to have to report back to us.
Yep, I'm going to start with the closest ones and then work my way around the states.
All right, that sounds good. All right, let's hear from our Canadian friend, Ryan.
Yes, hi there. This is Ryan Stubbs calling from London, Ontario, Canada. Huge, long-time fan of the show. I met with you guys at the first Gamble Palooza in 2017 at Foxwoods. Anyways, just want to give a quick gambling story about the Fallsview Casino in Niagara Falls. We were just returning there from a trip actually to Bermuda. It was awesome. We just crossed the border into Canada and just stayed at Niagara Falls for the night. Beautiful hotel, but the limits there are very high. But my story has to do with video poker. Royal flush, $1. Guy next to me gets $4,000. That's the normal payout for $1 at Max Coins. And usually you would have to get a hand pay. If you're in the U.S., you get a WTG form and all that. You don't get any of that in Canada. The person got $4,000 and had to print out a cash out voucher just like anybody else. So it's super easy and convenient. No fuss, no waiting for an attendant. You get your money. You can run right to the cashier and get your cash there. No need to wait for somebody for half an hour or more and sign waivers or anything like that. I just wanted to let you know because I know that's a big pet peeve for a lot of us. So it's a good place to play. And yeah, just to know, we were there in the long weekend, and the limits on the floor were $50 for blackjack minimum, and some tables were even $100 on the main floor. Going to high limit, they're $200 plus. So not a good place for table games. You would hate craps there too, because they took on all the regular crap tables and replaced them with those shoot to win ones, like the machines. You have to put in your money and pick the numbers on a screen. You still get dice to throw, but it's not the same. So anyways, I also do from Stan's Gambling Tips, where I give really, really crappy gambling advice. You can look that up online if you're curious. I know you've seen a few of them and you laughed at it, but that's me. Yeah, so anyways, huge fan of the show. Thanks so much. Love listening to your show, and take care. Good luck on the next trip. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, we met them up at Foxwoods. And I think we mentioned it too on the show before. Just go to YouTube and do a search on Stan's Gambling Tips if you want some really terrible gambling advice. No hand pay, no tax form when you're up in Canada. Now, if you are American, you probably still have some tax responsibilities. Check with your accountant. We're not tax lawyers. But that is something. Yeah, you just get 4,000. Now, it's 4,000 Canadian, keep in mind, but it's not nothing.
That's the way it should be here. You should get that law changed, Mark.
Well, gosh, there's still this talk about getting at least the $1,200 limit up to $5,000. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that since. So,
yeah, I think probably those things are a little on the back burner now with the world the way it is.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, next call.
Hi, Mark. Dr. Mike. It's Kevin from Wisconsin. Mark, I'm excited to hear about the World Series of Poker and the great riches that were bestowed upon you. If there's no podcast, I'm just going to assume that you won. You're going to be covertly telling us all to stuff a sock in it and plan to move to Bora Bora to drink Mai Tais and watch bikini-clad women for the rest of your wealthy years. I'm just calling with a trip report from Iowa. Wife and I went there over the Memorial Day weekend and got our butts kicked. I'll stay away from the profanity to provide the requested respect you both demand, but you can be creative and insert your own subtle swear words at your leisure. Diamond Joe in Dubuque, still the best sports book that we've been to, and I'll tell you why. Plenty of TVs, plenty of employees who know about sports and also do their own sports betting, a bunch of kiosks, and a willingness to change channels to a desired sports event. Say hi to Justin when you're there. He's a great and knowledgeable guy who really helps make it a great experience. This, however, leads me to a gripe. As of late, it seems like wherever my wife and I go, restaurants and bars included, aside from Diamond Joe, when we ask the staff to change a TV channel, an employee needs to get a manager, ask for assistance, or seek some kind of support to make it happen. Really? It's beyond ridiculous to me when you go to a sports bar or sports book and ask to watch the NBA game. They take 5 minutes to get a manager. The manager comes over and asks what you need, vanishes, then comes back and asks what channel it's on, then vanishes again and gets some handy server who knows how to run the remote. They flip through the channels for about 5 more minutes, then come back to you to confirm the network and ask what channel it's on. Then they confirm the TV again. After 15 minutes or so, you get the game you want on the desired screen. Now rest assured, even though my friends would disagree, I'm not a jerk. I'm not going to ask to remove a local or championship game from a TV so I can watch my useless wager between two throwaway WNBA teams. In our latest case, the crew at a brew pub was flipping channels from a Cubs game on one TV and Game 6 of the Rangers series on another TV to put on our requested Game 7 of the Heat-Celtics playoff. The last TV had a sitcom with The Rock. They didn't mess with that one. They kept that rerun on until we directed them otherwise. Lame. Put in another swear here. Finally, and most important, was at Rhythm City. At the craps table, 3 quick things. 1, a guy blew on the dice before throwing. He was promptly shamed for doing so by everyone. too, a couple weeks ago, I reported about a fellow who threw a bunch of 10s at the craps table there, and that's all I did was place a 10 and made a bunch of money. Same guy was there during the trip. I placed the 4s, so, of course, he threw a bunch of 10s again, and I got washed out. Third and final story, I find it's very awkward for me when I stand next to the dealers when I play. Throwing my chips on the come when the numbers are right in front of me is just something I continuously goof up. I'd be interested in knowing if you two have a preference on where you stand at the table. Thanks for the great shows, as always. I'll need to make a decent karma donation before a Vegas trip in July to bring my wife and me some good juju. Dr. Mike, wife and I will show for you to Dubuque later this summer if you need to tour Iowa. Take care.
Okay, so there you go. Diamond Joe, Dubuque, about 2 hours, 15 minutes from where you are.
Right. I looked that up, too, on the way driving here. So, yeah, that's on my list.
Good. I guess I'll answer first as to where I like to stand at the table. If I go up to an empty table, I'm usually going to stand maybe right next to the dealer. I kind of like that area there because then nobody's going to be next to me on one side at least, other than the dealer.
Right.
Other times I'll go straight out. And then when I'm with you, I usually stand like stick 2 left or 2 right because you like to be right next to the stick, right? Because you make so many of those center bets, right?
Yeah, that's my spot. I like to be right next to the stick if I can, because then it's just easier to play your center action, just hand it to them and drop it down there. It's close. You don't have to throw the chips a long ways.
Yeah.
If I can't stand there, though, I prefer down the middle.
Okay. And do you have a preference as far as actually throwing the dice?
No, not really.
Okay.
Right or left. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That doesn't really bother me. They always ask, which side do you want, Mike? And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can throw it either way.
Well, Kevin, you're definitely preaching to the choir here when it comes to TVs in the casino. Look, any TV in the casino, there should be somebody pretty close by who can change the channel, who has access to a remote, who knows what channel sports are on. I mean, we've talked about this so much. And even at Circa, which is probably the best place, right? Even at Circa, a while back, we were playing at a face-up Pai-Gow poker table, and we had a TV right in front of us, and we wanted it changed to a different game. And they couldn't just do it. They still had to jump through some hoops. They had to contact somebody because I think there's somebody who's really in charge of all the TVs at Circa, right? You know, somebody's on top of it so you don't get stuck on a sitcom or a rerun of Charmed or something like that, right? So but even at Circa, you know, it took a few minutes. Somebody had to come by and contact somebody, and no, there should be somebody just right there to be able to change it. And if any casino employee sees something up there like a sitcom or, you know, something that you can't follow when you're gambling, they should say something or, you know, change it. Yeah, that's going to be my job.
I mean, why would there ever be anything on in a casino besides the sports? You know, maybe late at night, but then just put it on ESPN or something
Have
like
something
that. Something,
there.
you know,
what happens is
related.
there's like a basketball game on TNT, and that's what they switch to. And then the game ends, and it goes back to just, you know, their dramatic programming, right? And nobody thinks to change the channel. Anyway.
Well, I mean, that should never happen except for at Bally's in Las Vegas.
Right. I think
there's always one TV dedicated to Star Wars.
Right. I think they're contractually obligated, actually, to have at least one Star Wars movie going on at least one monitor. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah, that makes sense. But this stuff about Charmed, I don't know. Why is it so hard to change the channel? I don't get that. I know they're streaming something on one thing and another thing's on cable. Who knows?
Right. Yeah, it could be that the receiver is not near the TV, right? That it's at some other location. I understand all that is probably the situation, but they should have something in place where a person close to the TV can do something quickly to change the channel to a sporting event. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be your job when you retire.
I know. Yeah, I've said that.
Just a few more years, Kevin, and Mark will be on it.
Yeah, I'll be crossing the country, stopping at your casino.
Maybe you'll have a bunker made somewhere in San Diego where you control every casino in the United States TVs.
Perfect.
And you're constantly monitoring. You can write a program that constantly monitors every TV.
That's right. A program that I wrote myself that constantly monitors all the TVs in the country.
There you go.
All right. Next call.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Asher from New Mexico. Just wanted to pose a question to you guys. the other day I was at my local casino and table was real cold and no one was real happy, and it's my turn to shoot the dice. I grab the dice and throw a few rolls, maybe 4 or 5 rolls, and then the dice go off the table. I call for same dice like I always do. I don't know if maybe it's just a superstition thing, but I always call for same dice because that's just what I do. And next roll, wouldn't you know, of course, was a 7. And the guy next to me was so upset that I called for the same dice. He looked at me and said, "Why did you call for the same dice?" He's like, I knew I should have turned my bets off. You never take the same dice. And I was kind of thrown back. I thought, are you really blaming me for the 7? Like it was my fault. Like I intentionally threw a 7. Like I was just kind of thrown back, and I wanted to know what you guys do in that situation. Like, do you engage or do you just kind of brush it off? I just brushed it off, but it did rub me a little rough there. Also, just wanted to wish you luck on your poker tournament coming up. I hope you do great. And
yeah.
Also wanted to do a shout out to my cousin Tommy in California. I got him addicted to your podcast, and now we're both just avid listeners, and we wait every couple of weeks for your podcast to come out, and whoever listens to it first calls each other, and we just talk about it, and it's been great. So thanks for what you guys do, and keep doing what you do, and I hope to get on the tables with you guys one of these days. Thanks.
Oh, good. All right. Thank you,
that's great.
Asher.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, no, we generally don't engage people like that. But if you wanted to engage this player, since he knows so much about it that you never call for same dice, you should have said to him, okay, why didn't you call off your bets? If you said you knew you should have, if it's so much more likely for a 7 to come up when you asked for same dice, why didn't you call your bets off?
Yeah,
and then
you're not trying hard enough.
You're going to have the same kind of guy who, if you didn't ask for same dice and the 7 comes up, he's going to give you the same grief. Hey, one thing that I've realized playing craps all these years is that you can call your bets off at any time, Dr. Mike. Anytime they'll let you call the bets off.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, so
I haven't experienced that, Mark, but it is nice. People like that are just idiots.
Yeah, just don't engage.
I mean, even if I was thinking that in my head,
right,
I would never verbalize it to somebody. It's not their fault.
No,
it's just
it makes them look like an idiot. Yeah,
yeah. But it is funny. You should have just looked at him and said, "Well, you weren't trying hard enough." That was the problem. Right. It wasn't me. It was you. You're not trying hard enough.
Right. All right. Next up is Fred.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is listener Fred. I'm calling about a question relating to the Park MGM craps table in Las Vegas. An acquaintance of mine told me that he was able to use lay bets on the 5 and 9, wherein he only paid the VIG after the win, and he thought that was a great advantage as opposed to paying the VIG when he placed the bet. When I visited, they confirmed that was true. However, they did not allow me to place buy bets on the 5 and 9 and paying a late VIG. So my question to you guys is, I thought that rules were being tightened around the Las Vegas Strip, so why would the Park MGM and perhaps other MGM properties be loosening the VIG for don't players? Also, how much advantage is this? Other acquaintances I've seen on the message board say that it's regularly at Biloxi that they will actually allow you to buy the 5 and 9, just like historically we could buy the 4 and 10 in Las Vegas. If so, is this a new trend? And how much of an advantage is it to the don't player to be able to pay late VIG? I love you guys' show. You take care.
Okay, let's talk about buy bets first. Yes, I can attest firsthand going to Biloxi that you can buy the 5 and 9 and only pay the VIG on a win. So that makes it better than a place bet. However, that is not a trend that is spilling into Las Vegas or anywhere else. Pretty much in Las Vegas, you can buy the 4 and 10 and pay the late VIG, but not the 5 and 9. That's just their rules. Okay, going back to the lay bets that he was talking about. It's not uncommon in Las Vegas to only have to pay the VIG on winning lay bets. That actually is fairly common, not just at Park MGM. And I'll get to the house advantage here in a second. But let's say you do think that they're tightening the rules on the strip when it comes to craps. And I don't know that they are. I think what they're doing is they're bringing in crapless craps tables, and we talked about that. But
right, that's the trend.
Right. Most people don't make lay bets. You could go a whole day at a craps table and never see a single lay bet. So it's not like, they're loosening these rules here and all the don't players are descending on these tables. But let's talk about how that house advantage does change. So if you lay the 4 and 10 in the traditional way where you have to pay the VIG up front, the house edge is about 2.4. If you have to pay the late VIG, it's only 1.6. For the 5 and 9, early VIG is about 3.2% house advantage. And on a late VIG, it's about a 2% house advantage. And finally, on the 6 and 8, if you're laying and you have to pay the VIG ahead of time, it's about a 4% house advantage. And if you only pay on winning wagers, it's 2.3% house advantage. So there's your figures right there. No, don't players aren't going to make a killing at these tables, right? So
no, and have you ever seen a don't player lay more than 1 or 2 numbers?
No, I have heard stories about people who maybe lay all the numbers on the come out roll, but I've never seen it. And I only see people say lay the 4 and 10 or just the 4 or just the 5. I never see them lay multiple numbers. No.
I have never seen anybody lay more than 2.
Right.
I mean, it's usually the 4 and 10.
Right.
And typically, a lot of times what you see is they lay one number.
Yes.
Some guy who, puts out a bunch of money on a 4.
Puts a lot of it on one, yeah.
Yeah, and just hoping that, a 7 comes up before that 4.
Yep.
So I don't think the casino's too worried about that.
No. Again, I don't think we're going to see any new trends here when it comes to that kind of stuff, but don't be surprised if it's a late VIG on lay bets at a lot of Las Vegas casinos. All right, next call.
Hello, this is Stephen from Fresno, California. Hello, potential WSOP bracelet winner Mark and new Minnesotan. Yeah, Dr. Mike. Quick question for you guys about the California propositions for sports betting. Is there one I should vote for over the other? I know one seems to be funded by the Indian casinos, stating if we vote for it, we'll break the promise. And another one is, I guess, backed by outside companies. Is one better than the other? Should I vote yes for both of them? Which one is going to bring real craps to California, if any? All right. Thank you, guys. Love what you guys do. Have a good day.
Okay, so the propositions coming up here in November are not set yet. But let's talk about what is going to be coming up. And we're not going to tell you how to vote, but we will tell you what these potentially 2 different measures will do. So first of all, there's the measure that the tribal casinos are pushing. This one is definitely going to be on the ballot, although there's no number yet. So I can't say, Prop 15, whatever it's going to be. So, but with the tribal casinos measure, they want sports betting implemented so that you could only bet in person at tribal casinos and racetracks. It will also bring real craps and roulette to the tribal casinos. And this is kind of a touchy point, it will allow the tribes to sue card rooms for offering games like blackjack. The tribal casinos claim that these games at card rooms are illegal, offering blackjack, 3-card poker, any of these other games, even though the card rooms are not banking. Other players are banking these games, and the card rooms just take an ante. So that's the tribal casinos measure.
And I think that's where they're going to screw themselves, is that last one, suing card rooms. The card rooms don't take that much away from the tribal casinos.
I don't think so either, but the tribes really kind of want a monopoly on this. They feel that
they're pushing for too much.
And if you see some of the ads right now, the tribal casinos are putting out, they're basic. Well, let me move on to the other potential measure, and then we'll talk about that. So BetMGM and FanDuel and DraftKings have a potential measure that would allow online sports betting. Okay, so you could do it from your phone, what have you. But it would also put up big hurdles for other companies joining into this after the measure passes. So it would basically be those 3, BetMGM, FanDuel, and DraftKings. And for smaller entities to kind of jump into the fray, it would be very difficult. Okay, so those are the real 2 differences, right? From a sports betting standpoint, you would probably prefer having the online sports betting available, right? Rather than having to go into a casino or to a racetrack. If you don't care about sports betting and all you care about is craps and roulette, well, then you're going to want to vote for the tribal casino measure. Again, we'll talk about this later because right now only the tribal casino measure is definitely going to be on the ballot. What will happen if both measures pass? You know, who knows? Whatever happens with that. But really, the tribal casinos are pushing for, hey, the state of California made a deal with these Native American tribes for gambling and casinos. And if you were to vote for this online sports betting, you would be going back on these promises. That's what they're pushing in the ads. That's what the ads are saying. So whether you think that's true or not, we won't go into that, but that's kind of what it comes down to right now.
I think they're both being kind of greedy.
Well, of course.
You know, one, they want to get rid of the car rooms. The other one wants to be the sole. They want a monopoly on it. They don't want smaller companies in there who might offer better deals to players and take business from them.
Yep.
They both want to be in the business, but they want it exclusively.
Yep. It's what it comes down to.
That's the problem with me. I don't like either one of those. That's why I'm not voting in California.
That's why. Yeah.
That's why.
And we'll talk more about that when we get closer. And I realize this is not of great interest to all of our listeners, but certainly we've got a lot of California listeners. And California is a big piece of the sports betting pie. And I just have a feeling that whatever comes out of the ballot, it's not going to be all that great for players. That's my feeling, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I hate to say this, but Mark, it is California, and so nothing could happen too.
That could be too, yeah.
I mean,
we'll see.
They could both get passed, they could both not get passed, one could get passed, whatever, and then there'll be big court battles, and 10 years from now, we still won't have anything.
You might be right. If I were to try to predict right now, I would say the tribal casino measure is going to pass, and that's what we're going to end up with, but we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I would think would pass just because they've been advertising heavily, at least they were when I was in California.
Mm-hmm,
They're playing on the sympathy of, don't cheat the Indians again.
Yes, correct.
Yep, right?
Exactly.
So that's going to be a big part of it, I think.
Yeah. All right, you ran into Melanie on your trip across the country. Let's hear from her right now.
Good morning, Mark. Hello, Dr. Mike. Just wanted to check in. This is Melanie from Colorado. Just did a big road trip. And as I was driving across I-80, probably about 10 o'clock at night, all of a sudden there was this huge expanse of light. Anyway, it was West Wendover, Nevada, right on the border with Utah, and it looked like a mini Vegas. It was crazy. So walked around a little bit, really didn't play much, but they did have a $5 blackjack table, $5 craps table. Then we're open because it was in the morning. That was Montego Bay, I believe. Anyway, really nice casino. It was interesting. On the walls, they have these giant screens, and they project these drone images of all these places all over the world, which I was like, you've got these huge screens. Show me the sports that happened overnight. But as I continued to play and watch it, it was really relaxing and made me want to go other places. So anyway, highly recommend. Friendly people. Not that anyone would ever end up in West Wendover, but if you do, it's worth a stopover. Just wanted to say on that long road trip, gosh, I enjoyed your show so much. Thanks for keeping me company in the desert. And I don't know, felt really kind of just grateful and nostalgic hearing that Dr. Mike is moving, and just made me think about how many hours you guys have been in my ears, keeping me company on the road or going to work or a break at work, making me laugh. And I just feel like, I don't know, just got a little emotional thinking about how you guys are kind of like brothers from another mother. And I just have to say that your podcast makes a huge difference, and really excited when I see it pop up, and love hearing your stories. Dr. Mike's role at the Bellagio just made me smile so big. So anyway, thanks for what you do. Really hope you're able to keep it going. But man, I just really want you guys to know that you guys are special. You guys make a huge difference. I know this is a big endeavor. It takes a lot of time, and it's just really worth it. So anyway, I think that's all I've got. Didn't find any rumble seats, but they had some good Buffalo slots there, and played some video poker, but it was really weird. I don't know. I couldn't understand. I don't know, they had 5-cent video poker, but then that 25 credits is the max bet. Of course, I hit that on accident, but yeah, West Wendover if you find yourself on a road trip. And of course, if you find yourself on a road trip, the You Can Bet on That catalog is outstanding, of course. All right. Thanks, you guys. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Melanie.
Okay. Thanks, Melanie. Yeah, it was great seeing Melanie on our trip.
Yeah.
I think she had just got home that morning from that road trip.
Oh, okay.
And,
there you go.
Yeah, and so, I said, let's meet at 6:30 or 7. She said, that'd be great because I just got home.
Oh, all right.
So she probably wanted to rest a little bit. But yeah, it was great meeting her. A funny thing here, I forgot to say this earlier. We parked a block away because there wasn't a lot of parking in front of the restaurant. And we were walking and Lynn said, well, will you recognize her? And Melanie was standing out in front of the restaurant and she was looking the other way down the street. And I said, well, I can't see her face, but I see someone wearing Kansas City colors.
Ah, there you go.
So I said, I'm pretty sure that's her. Lynn laughed. I recognized her because she was wearing her Kansas City Chiefs shirts. And
Nice. Oh, good. Well, yeah, Wendover is still a great location, especially for Utahns. Just straight over from Salt Lake City. It's a lot closer for many people who live in Utah than driving to Las Vegas. And we hear great things about the hospitality and the games. Now, they used to have junkets that would fly into Wendover. We talked about them on a previous episode, but apparently they have gone away. I don't know if it happened when COVID hit or what, but if you try to go to the website where they would talk about, the junkets to Wendover, it says this page no longer exists. So that's too bad because it sounded like it was a great place to go for gamblers.
Right. Stupid COVID.
Yeah, I hate it.
That needs to go away.
Yeah.
We need to get rid of it.
They need to do something about that, Dr. Mike.
Yeah. I'm all for that, Mark.
All right. Well, we've got several more calls, but I think we'll save them for next time because we're kind of going long here. Let's have just one last call from Joseph.
Hey, guys. This is Joseph from Grand Prairie, Texas, right outside of Dallas. Sorry, I'm driving. Just wanted to say that my wife and I went to Vegas in May. Didn't have a whole lot to report. We had set aside a weekend in August, but with all the cancellations going on, we may or may not go through the hassle. But anyway, I just want to say I'm glad you guys had a chance to send Dr. Mike off with a good, memorable, fun casino night. And with that, I'd like to wish Dr. Mike and his family a safe trip and wish him well with his health. Hope to feel better soon. And thank you both for the podcast. And can't wait to get to the next one. You guys take care. Bye.
Thanks, Joseph.
Yeah, that's very nice.
That's very nice. I appreciate that very much. We had a good trip, so thank you very much.
Yeah, good. Okay, well, let's end it there. And again, we have some more calls we will get to next time. And it looks like we're hooked up here, Mike. I thought we might be late on this episode for technical reasons, but I guess we're okay. So
no, we're good. We're good. Yeah, I think I get better internet service here, Mark, than I did in San Diego.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, I think the internet service you had at your house was not all that good.
No, and it's so much better here.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, so look for another episode here in maybe exactly 2 weeks. All right.
Right. Yep, I hope so.
Well, we want to thank some people for some recurring donations. Brian Dancer, Brian and Sarah, and Josh, thank you very much for those recurring donations. We also got a donation from Glenn, donation on behalf of my dad, Tommy, for Father's Day. Before the pandemic, we listened to your show on drives to casinos. During the pandemic, my dad caught up on all your old episodes. Thanks for hours of fun and hope to one day see you at the craps table. All right, well, thank you, Glenn, and happy Father's Day to your dad.
Yes, and I hope we do see him sometime.
Yeah,
so drinks are on me.
Oh, excellent. We also got a donation from Crap Vegas, the new podcast with Chris and Josh. Be sure to check that out. They're putting out episodes like crazy.
Yep, and they're good.
Yep. And finally, a donation from Two-Way Hard 8 on Twitter, a tip from when I hit the small at my local casino where they still have the 35, 175, 35 pay table. Cheers. Oh, great. Thank you very much. For whatever reason, I always remember that we met Two-Way Hard 8, David is his name, at Downtown Grand a while back. Yeah. So thank you very much again, David. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings and our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
951 and two wagers.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review of the show. We love getting your feedback. All right, final comments, Mike.
Well, Mark, I wanted to take a minute and just talk about driving across the United States.
Yeah.
I think that every person in this country should at some point make a road trip across the United States.
Mm-hmm.
At least when you're an adult. I did a lot when I was a kid with my parents and stuff, and I probably didn't appreciate it as much as I should
Right.
have.
Those long car rides for kids can be rough.
And
yeah.
you're like, but as an adult, I loved it. We took as few of the interstates as we possibly could.
Uh-huh.
And we stayed on county roads and state roads and just sometimes dirt roads. And we had a blast.
Yeah.
I mean, and the people we met.
Yeah.
Just stopping somewhere out of the way, not a big city, where everyone's kind of in a hurry and stuff, just out of the way places. People would talk to you. But when you get out and drive around and see this country, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dr. Mike. Good advice.
But,
it's always a good experience when I've done it.
Yeah, and look at all the casinos you could possibly stop at.
There you go. Now you're catching everybody's attention.
They're everywhere. It was funny when we were in, I believe it was Wyoming, and everything's called a casino. So the gas station that has 4 slot machines has a big sign casino.
Yeah.
And after a while, I have to stop to, oh, look, another casino. Let's stop there. And then, Mike, that's got like 3 slot machines in it.
Yeah.
We're not stopping there. But they're all over. But anyway, we had a blast. And I just thought, I just got to push for more people to do that. It's so much fun.
All right. Well, very good. Glad you're safe. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Good night.
Oh, sweet mother, I love you, Dr. Mike.